We have yet another one of Donald Trump's cabinet members caught insulting Donald Trump's intelligence. Back in October, you might remember, I told you the story of Secretary of State Rex Tillerson calling Donald Trump a moron. That happened after a July 20th meeting at the Pentagon, according to multiple senior Trump administration officials. It was never denied by Tillerson. Tillerson came out to deny other parts of the reports, like, for example, that he had just recently been talked out of resigning as Secretary of State, but he never actually denied what we now know to have been an accurate allegation, that he called Trump a moron. We now have a new leak, which tells us that at a dinner with a tech CEO, National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, the guy who replaced disgraced National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, McMaster allegedly said that Donald Trump has the intelligence of a kindergartner, called him an idiot and a dope, according to 5 sources with knowledge of this conversation. This was a dinner a couple of months ago. We're only now learning about it, but it was a dinner a couple of months ago that involved H.R. McMaster, again, the national security advisor for Trump, and the CEO of the company Oracle, the tech company Oracle, Safra Catz. And as the story goes, McMaster was very blunt and in this really upfront way just destroyed Trump in front of her. And what's hilarious about this is that the behavior was described by Catz herself as jaw-dropping, although she didn't specifically say, well, he said kindergartner or stupid or dope or whatever the words were, but you have the Trump administration and some other Oracle staffers denying it. I quite frankly don't believe the denials. At this point, given the 10 months at this point, actually almost 10 months to the day of Donald Trump as president, we've seen these routines any number of times at this point, and by and large, the assertions of what was said end up being true. And the trend is that anyone who's even remotely intelligent, and I consider H.R. McMaster to be a pretty intelligent guy, despite the fact that I would have political disagreements with him, everybody who's reasonably intelligent that gets close to Trump immediately realizes that the guy is just unfit to be president of the United States. And even more interesting is that at this dinner, at the same dinner, according to 3 sources, H.R. McMaster didn't just talk, what's that term Trump uses, talk bad about Trump. He was also reportedly slamming Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, Secretary of Defense James Mattis, Stephen Bannon, at the time, who was a White House advisor, and Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. And there's a couple takeaways here. First, it can't possibly be surprising to any reasonable person that anybody in this administration who has a good head on their shoulders would be mocking Trump in private, right? That should come as absolutely no surprise to anybody. More interesting to me is that there seem to be these rifts within factions of the Trump administration. You've got McMaster and Tillerson, who both apparently question Trump's intelligence, which makes sense. But then you have McMaster being critical of Tillerson as well. We've heard that Chief of Staff John Kelly has been concerned about the involvement of Jared Kushner so close to the president of the United States. That is the most interesting element of this for me. And the sort of bigger picture here that we're building is that foreign leaders think that Trump is a moron. Many members of Trump's own team think that the guy is incompetent. Obviously, my audience has realized it from the beginning. So we're realizing that it is this group of ideologically committed Trumpists that just revile the guy as some kind of brilliant player of 4D chess, some hero, but they are increasingly the only ones who don't seem to get that the guy is totally unfit. But, and this is where it really gets concerning, that might be enough to get Trump reelected. Even if we get Trump's approval rating down into the low 30s as it's been, or even with a 2 in front of it, 29, 28%, I've done the math before, that could still get Donald Trump reelected as president in 2020. And that's why, as progressives, we've got to be activating at every opportunity. The most pressing one is December 12th, the special election where Roy Moore might lose and we might have a Democrat replacing Jeff Sessions in that vacated Senate seat. But we can't just look away and say we don't have to worry because the guy's obviously a moron. Even with 30% approval, those 30% can get this guy reelected. Send me your thoughts. I'm on Twitter at @dpakman. The show is on Twitter at David Pakman Show. Today's program is made possible in part by Live Lingua. Learning a new language is a journey, a long journey in many cases. It can be challenging, but it is ultimately one of the most rewarding experiences that a person can have. And for Black Friday, Live Lingua is offering a special 20% off deal on all Live Lingua gift cards. Immersive learning with a native speaker of the language is the most effective way to actually get the level of language proficiency that you want. And Live Lingua is not offering some kind of trendy new gimmick where 5 minutes a day will make you fluent in a month. It's the proven approach of getting students fluent and confident in one of the 11 most widely spoken languages in the world. And they use an immersive language learning method, the same method that diplomats and educators have used for hundreds of years, but they do it online. So instead of driving somewhere and paying for an expensive tutor, you save money and you work one-on-one via Skype with your teacher, meaning that you don't have to worry about falling behind the class. And Live Lingua is inviting viewers and listeners of the David Pakman Show to their Black Friday special. Gift cards on Black Friday, 20% off at livelingua.com/Pakman. That's Pakman. And the best part about this is that all new customers will still get their first lesson for free. Plus, they can get 20% off a holiday gift with the Black Friday gift card special. They won't tell anyone if you use the gift card on yourself. That's absolutely acceptable. Find out more at livelingua.com/Pakman to get 20% off all gift card orders on Black Friday.